Okay, guys, so some of you might have seen this already, but I'm a big fan of the Keystone 3 Pro. I've been using it for a while now, and yesterday, April 2nd, they just released the new Bitcoin Only firmware. So excited about that. And what I wanted to do today was just talk a little bit about the Keystone 3 Pro, why I like it, and also how to do the verification of the new firmware update. So in this tutorial, we're going to be going from a multi-coin firmware to a Bitcoin only firmware on the Keystone 3 Pro. So before we dive into the firmware update, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Keystone 3 Pro. As you can see, it has a beautiful 4-inch screen, which is touch screen, and just functions almost just like a smartphone, things that we're used to. The most important thing that I like is that it is open source. Okay, so anybody can look at the at the back and look and see and verify, and we can audit. And this is the transparency is what I like. Okay, you can air gap this with a QR code. There's a QR code reader, or you can use the SD card. You can also do a USB hardline into the computer, but I strongly suggest against that for the obvious reason that you never actually want your hardware wallet, your keys to be connected to the internet. Okay, so that's why we like the air gap method. A couple of things within this is there are 3 secure element chips. They are independent. Okay, so this is a great function. There is a fingerprint reader for biometrics. So you can actually set it up so that when you want to sign, you can actually just use your finger instead of entering a PIN. Sometimes it's nice to do that, especially when you want to be low key in public. There are 3 seed phrases. So within the one wallet, you can actually set up 3 separate cold storage wallets, which is a great thing to have, especially if you want to set up a decoy wallet. So what you can do is you can set up your master account and have the majority of your Bitcoin in there, and then set up a decoy account, a separate wallet with a separate PIN with a small amount of Bitcoin. So if there ever was a $5 range attack, you would just enter the PIN of the smaller amount and show them that, if that were ever to happen. That's just one of the things. You could also have like 3 different accounts. You could have your long-term saving and your day-to-day, or your shorter-term savings, but in separate cold storage options. Anyway, great to have. So another really nice feature of the Keystone 3 Pro is the CPI level self-destruct, which essentially means if there's ever a physical attack on the device, it will automatically erase the data, keeping your Bitcoin safe. And that's what we're here for. So very interesting product. Okay, but the thing that really got me, and what I liked the most, was actually that they're offering a 28% off discount for Ledger users. And when I saw that, I was sold. So guys, we're going to look into this, how to set up the new Bitcoin only firmware. When I purchased this, it had the multi-coin. So we're going to go from multi-coin to Bitcoin only. And again, once you do this, you cannot go back to the multi-coin. Okay, so this is only for Bitcoin only. And the reason we do the Bitcoin only firmware is to basically minimize the code base and attack surface. So we don't want the coins involved, other coins and their chains. We just want Bitcoin. So we'll be diving into that. Some things that we're going to need, prerequisites. We will need the Keystone 3 Pro, all right? And we will need a SD card and a card reader of sorts, plus the cable. And I'll show you how to do it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're on the correct website. And it's Keystone, spelled KEYST.ONE. I'll leave a link in the description below. But what you want to do is, if you head on over to, so we're assuming you're dealing with the Keystone 3 Pro, okay? So you can come over to Resources. If you hit Resources, hit Firmware, And what we're looking for is the Bitcoin Only firmware. And there is a little tutorial you can follow there as well, where we're going to click into the Bitcoin Only. And now it actually tells you that the PSBT multisig is coming soon, which is great. So the partly signed Bitcoin transactions multisig, something that I'm very interested in, but it's not released yet, but it'll be coming soon. And also there is the Bitcoin testnet support. So that's also great to have. Don't do the web USB update. As I explained earlier, you don't want to have your cold storage device touching the internet. So we are going to do the SD card update, which is essentially air gapped, and we're going to hit into that. And now there's two options. So I'm going to be doing a multi-coin to Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm going to download this file, but if you already have a Bitcoin only, then you're just going to be doing the Bitcoin only download. Okay, and there is a checksum. This is the verification. So if we click into that, it's going to give us the checksum key, and we're going to verify this at a later stage. But again, I'll show you that in a sec. So right now, we're going to go from multi-coin to Bitcoin and click download. And it gives you this big warning to say that, once you go this way onto the Bitcoin only, you can't go back. Okay, so just make sure you say, yes, I understand, and click in. What we want to do is make sure that the file that we've just downloaded to the SD card is keystone3.bin. Okay, so this is what we need, keystone3.bin. I'm going to eject that out, and I'll show you on the other camera. All right, guys, so make sure that your battery power is above 50, or at least above 20%. Okay, plug it in if it's not. What we've done is we've downloaded the firmware to the SD card, and we're going to put that into the side here of the Keystone 3. Okay, so facing you with the gold teeth, slide it in gently, just push it in. It's a little tricky, and then there is a spring, so just push it in, and it's spring loaded, and there it is. Okay, so I hope you can see this. Hope it's focused, but it says update available, and it says show checksum. Now this is what you need to do, is you need to push the show checksum, and it's calculating. Let it do its thing. And essentially what we want to do is we want to reference, I'm just going to come, I don't know if you can see on the computer, but I'm going to click checksum on the page. You can see that. Okay, so we want to make sure that this key is the same as this key. Okay, and I'm just going to do that right now. And first digits look good, and the last few digits definitely look good. Okay, so 860-4E92F. All right, so that checksum coincides with the checksum from the firmware that we have downloaded. So that way we know it's authentic, and we're just going to hit update. So update, and I'm just going to enter my PIN. Just give me a second. And hopefully that is going to do the update. So I'm not sure how long this will take. I can always cut later, and we'll cut and come back. So update was successful. It looks a little different right away. But if for some reason when you put the card in, the SD card, you didn't get that automatic update, you can access that by going to device settings, and you go into about, and you click on firmware, and then you can update via the firmware SD card. Okay, so you can go in there and hit update, but I've already done that, so I don't need to do it again. All right, guys, so very quickly, to verify the firmware update, you can go into device settings and go about, and then you'll see your firmware is there at the bottom, 1.0.1 BTC. We're running Bitcoin only. Amazing. Good to go. All right, so that was a quick tutorial on how to get the Bitcoin only firmware upgraded onto your Keystone 3 Pro. So now we're running Bitcoin only. Just a note, if you were to do the USB update, you can't actually do the checksum. So That's another good reason to only do the air-gapped method with the SD card, because with the SD card, that is the only way you can verify the firmware with the checksum. So hope you found this useful, guys. Give us a like and subscribe. And coming up next, we will do a video where we bring our Keystone into our Sparrow wallet. And then eventually, once Keystone has the multisig set up, we'll show you some multisig setups too. All right, see you in the next one.